Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something absolutely fascinating, a real spiritual crossroads. We're looking at the unification of Pure Land recitation and Zen awakening. And because we want to get into the real meat of this, we're going to focus heavily on layman Lin Mingxiang. His detailed explanation and honestly, his complete interpretation of Amitabha Buddha's 18th vow it's a game changer. He takes this seemingly simple act, just repeating a Buddha's name, and totally unpacks it to reveal the ultimate depths of Zen realization. It's brilliant.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at Master Shandao's Pure Land Gateway. Then, we'll get right into Lin Mingxiang's Zen Connection, followed by the 3 Dharma Gates. After that, we'll ground it all with a story, Mingxiang's journey to awakening. And finally, we'll wrap up with the power of deep faith. Let's get started.
Section 1. Shandao's Pure Land Gateway.
To really understand Lin Mingxiang's framework, we actually have to start with Master Shandao. He lays down this incredibly massive, compassionate promise here. Listen to this quote. "If I attain Buddhahood, all sentient beings in the 10 directions who wish to be born in my land and call my name, even down to 10 recitations, shall be born there through my vow power." Now remember, this is the 18th vow of the Infinite Life Sutra. It's basically the foundational guarantee for all spiritual seekers. It means rebirth in the Pure Land isn't just for a select few. It is accessible to literally everyone.
Now right here is where Lin Mingxiang's detailed interpretation really shines. Notice the distinction on the screen? He emphasizes that the gateway specifically says even down to 10 recitations. We're talking concrete vocal action here, actually uttering the sound out loud with your mouth. This is completely different from just 10 thoughts, which, let's face it, can be this vague, abstract mental state. Lin traces this concrete vocal action all the way back to Nagarjuna Bodhisattva, the first patriarch of the Pure Land school in India. Nagarjuna taught that physically reciting the name with total self-surrender instantly drops you into the stage of certainty. So it's not just thinking about it, right? It's doing it. Active vocal recitation.
Section 2. Lin Mingxiang's Zen Connection.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how exactly does saying a name out loud connect to the deep meditative states of Zen? Well, Lin Mingxiang brilliantly bridges Amitabha's vow directly to Bodhidharma, the first Chinese Zen patriarch, the one who taught direct pointing to the human mind. Lin unifies Bodhidharma's 3 key treatises in such a cool way. First, the Bloodline Treatise, which says the mind itself is the Buddha. Second, the Awakening of Nature Treatise, that your own nature is the Dharma. And third, the Breaking Form Treatise, showing that Buddha and Dharma being non-dual, that is the Sangha. Lin explains that when you're continuously reciting the Buddha's name, you aren't just making noise. You are actually cultivating these 3 treasures of your own mind. You're realizing the Buddha of your own nature right there in the moment.
Moving on to Section 3, the 3 Dharma Gates.
Now this breakdown right here, this is arguably the most profound part of Lin Mingxiang's complete interpretation. He takes the incredibly complex Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment and boils it down into one simple, accessible act. Look at how this maps out. When you recite the name, 3 things happen simultaneously. First, separating from all forms. That's the Buddha, matching up with shamatha, or calm abiding stillness. Second, letting the mind's light embrace all forms. That's the Dharma, aligning with samapati, which is contemplative insight. And finally, when Buddha and Dharma are non-dual, not 2 separate things, you hit the Sangha. That's dhyana, perfect meditative absorption. So by just doing this one simple recitation, you're effortlessly practicing all 3 of these pure Dharma gates at the exact same time. How amazing is that? To really hammer home the Zen state you hit during recitation, Lin Mingxiang brings in the great master Linji. Linji talked about the guest and the host being distinctly clear, like a mirror. In Lin's framework, think of the guest as samapati. That's all the phenomena, the passing thoughts, the things that come and go. The host, on the other hand, is shamatha, the original, still substance of your self-nature. When you recite the name, you don't get stuck on either side. Guest and host stay distinct, but they harmonize perfectly. They're distinctly clear, just like a mirror reflecting reality. That absolute freedom and brightness, that is dhyana. It's the exact moment your mind and the Buddha become one.
Let's look at Section 4, Mingxiang's Journey to Awakening.
All right, let's step away from the abstract philosophy for a second and see what this actually looks like in practice. We're going to look at Mingxin, a character from layman Lin Mingxiang's Seeker's novel. Mingxin's timeline is pretty relatable. He was this smart young guy who went through the agonizing grief of losing his family. He wandered everywhere, studying philosophy, trying to find peace, but his mind was just completely restless. I mean, can any of us relate to that spiritual anxiety? That non-stop monkey mind? Mingxian definitely had it. Everything changed when he was seeking shelter in a storm and stumbled upon the Infinite Life Sutra. He started practicing Master Shandao's concrete vocal recitations, literally just repeating the name day and night. Later on, he meets an old monk who teaches him the Zen unity of Bodhidharma we just talked about, and it's that encounter that pushes Mingxin to true awakening, and ultimately rebirth in the Pure Land.
Let's look at his big breakthrough. Mingxin was out working in the fields, verbally reciting Namo Amitabha Buddha. But here's the key. Instead of fighting his scattered, messy thoughts, he applied Lin Mingxiang's specific teachings. When a distraction popped up, he didn't try to violently suppress it, but he didn't chase after it either. He just kept reciting. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. The actual vocal recitation became a direct pointing to his own mind. Shamatha and Samapati just seamlessly clicked together. His mind settled completely into the name, and the name anchored itself in his mind.
And this steady practice led to a massive emotional climax. One night, Mingxin has this vivid dream of a golden path of light. Amitabha Buddha actually appears to him and says, "By reciting my name and relying on my vow power, you have already entered the stage of certainty. All who wish to be born in my land will be born there without exception." He woke up in tears. This moment completely validates Lin Mingxiang's core thesis. Amitabha's vow is totally real. It's not some empty metaphor. When you fully rely on the Buddha's compassionate power, the gap between self and other completely collapses.
Which brings us to Section 5, the power of deep faith.
I think this is probably Lin Mingxiang's most comforting takeaway, especially for any of us dealing with spiritual exhaustion or doubt today. His point is absolutely crucial. Genuine faith doesn't require all this anxious striving. You don't need to sit there agonizing thinking, am I doing this right? How do I perfectly maintain my wish to be born in the Pure Land? Actually, scratch that. You don't need to overthink it at all. Genuine faith naturally contains that wish right inside it. Lin assures us that if you just trust the vow and recite the name, you can be confident that this present life will literally be your last life in the Saha world, this world of red dust and suffering.
So instead of tying yourself in knots, Lin Mingxiang teaches that you can just peacefully, confidently declare, I recite the Buddha's name. Amitabha's deliverance is absolutely certain. There's zero need to fake some complicated spiritual persona. It's just a highly practical, grounding approach to faith. It brings this incredible peace and rock-solid certainty to your everyday life. You're just walking steadily, step by step, completely relying on the Buddha's vast vow power.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to kind of chew on. Does the ultimate bliss you're so anxiously searching for already exist right here, in this present, trusting moment of simple recitation? Lin Mingxiang's detailed interpretation really shifts the paradigm. It shows us that Zen realization and Pure Land salvation aren't these impossible, distant finish lines. They're actually available right here, right now, just resting in the stillness of a single spoken name. I really hope this deep dive has brought you some clarity and maybe a bit of peace. Keep reflecting on these ideas, keep exploring, and as always, thanks so much for hanging out and learning with me today.